Hey everyone, it's Sean and Julie from Chicory's Travels, and we just stayed at an awesome campground. It's my new favorite for sure, and it's Camp Margaritaville in Pigeon Forge, Tennessee. And so in this video, we're going to talk about the site at Camp Margaritaville and all the amenities they have, as well as what there is to do in the local area, or what we did in the local area anyway.
Yeah, and as you can see behind us, they also have a lodge there. So that's one interesting thing about it right off the top of the bat. There's a RV campground, and co-located there is also the lodge at Camp Margaritaville, which makes it a great place to take extended family who might not have RVs. And so we want to go back because it was just the two of us, and now we want to go back with our adult kids because, as you're going to hear, there's stuff for them, and our grandson because there's stuff for him too.
Yeah, and the campground sits at the top of a hill on the edge of Pigeon Forge, closest to Great Smoky Mountains National Park. And so sitting up on the top of the hill, you have mountain views all around you, and really no noise except for the music.
Yeah, I didn't hear anything outside of the campground.
Yeah.
No type of road noise or anything like that. And just beautiful scenery every day. It was absolutely gorgeous. And our RV site was nice and large. All of the sites there are back in. This is a rather new campground, so everything is really nice. It's all paved. All of the sites are paved. There's just a difference between the length of the sites and then where they're located in the campground. We were located near the lodge, which is where the premium sites are, so you can get to all the cool stuff we're going to tell you about. But there's also sites that are a little bit further away if you don't want to hear the music that Sean was talking about, which was great music from the pool, a lot of Jimmy Buffett, which we enjoyed it. But then there's also what they call the family sites, which are close to the pool and bathhouse that we'll talk about as well.
And there's over 170 sites there, I think. We were in site 173, so there's a lot of sites. And I guess one thing we can mention about the sites right off the top is the Wi-Fi, hands down the best Wi-Fi in any campground we've ever stayed at. I mean, it was fast.
I think you said it was faster than our house.
It's faster than our house internet, and this was Wi-Fi there. So that to me was, just the pinnacle of having great Wi-Fi at the site. Even when, 7, 8 o'clock at night when people are in their RVs, it was still fantastic speeds. I was able to work every day with no problems there. So, and like Julie said, the sites are all back in, but they're all angled, so no 90-degree back ends. And so it was really easy to get in and out of the site.
Yeah, and our site was plenty long enough for our fifth wheel and our truck unhooked. Also, as you can see here, they were plenty wide. There were no awning to awning sites there that we could see. We walked around the whole campground. It looked like all of them had a decent amount of space.
Yeah, and then for Toby, they have Margaritaville, which is just a dog park, a place for them to go off leash and run. And Toby seemed to really enjoy it.
Yeah, it was right by our site as well, so we went over there pretty much every day. Another really neat thing that they had for dogs was over at the end of the bathhouse. It was outdoor, but it was a dog wash. So it was a raised area where your dog walked up a ramp, and then you could clip a lead on there, and then he would be like up at your height, like chest height, and they had an outdoor wash hose and things like that, so you could give your dog a good bath without having to be on the ground.
Yeah.
And that was connected, like I said, that was on the back side of the bathhouse. The bathhouse was really nice. It was had the laundry room as well as men and women's showers and bathrooms, and they were all I went in there and they were really clean, and we didn't have to use them, but it looked like a really nice facility.
Yeah, and close to the bathhouse, they have a big playground, outdoor playground for kids. We didn't spend much time there, but it had all the playground stuff there.
All the playground stuff and then some. I mean, because I take my grandson to little playgrounds around his neighborhood, and this one had not just the swings and the slides, but climbing apparatus. There was also like a covered pavilion right there with oversized Jenga. So that was, like I said, where the family sites are, and it really would be a good spot. And especially if you're a larger family in a camper and you want to make use of that bathhouse, so everyone's not trying to squeeze into the small RV bathroom at the same time.
And then the highlights kind of the resort are the pool and the lazy river. So the pool is a good size, lots of sun chairs and umbrella tables as well.
Splash pad.
They
Like
had a
with the
splash
water
pad.
coming
They had
down.
a nice water slide.
Hot tub.
Hot tub, yeah. The water was warm and it was connected with the bar.
Yeah, so you could go right from the pool area. There were tables right there, and it was a bar and grill, which we'll talk about the food a little more in just a minute, but you could access it right there.
And then behind this lodge that you see in the picture, so the pool would be to my, I don't know how it goes here, not the side with the water tower. It's
My side.
Yeah, on Julie's side is where the pool is. And then directly behind the lodge was a lazy river. And it was really cool.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. We had a good time in the lazy river. Again, they were playing music there. And like Sean said, it's behind it and kind of down a sloped hill a little bit. So it kind of gives that little bit of space. Also down there is the event area, they call it. And they actually had live music on Friday and Saturday night. We ended up not going down. Friday night it was raining, and Saturday night we had got back a little later and we're just kind of tired. But yeah, that was on the calendar. There was also oversized Jenga, oversized Connect 4.
Volleyball.
And volleyball. Yeah, so there was definitely a lot going on down in that area. And then that was one of two ways that you could access this major entertainment center, I guess you would call it. It's if you come from like our campsite right through here where you see the welcome, you walk through the lobby of the hotel and you go downstairs, or if you're down at the lazy river, you just go in there. And you remember we talked about the bar upstairs by the big pool by the lazy river down there in that entertainment complex. There is a small bar that has, I think it was basically like tap beer, obviously sodas, but then like daiquiri style pre-made drinks, and then you could get the special drinks to order all the margaritas you want upstairs. They also had a small snack bar down at the bottom, so if you wanted any type of food or snack. But in addition to that, this whole entertainment, the whole bottom of the hotel, I mean, it was just massive. For starters, there was a huge arcade, and we had a good time.
Yeah, I think we played them all.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had fun there at the arcade. And then across from the arcade is buck pin bowling.
Duck pin.
Duck pin bowling.
I guess it's a thing up north because I've told a few people about it and they've heard of it.
And it's shorter lanes, and the balls just fit in your hand. There's no finger holes, and the pins are on strings, but it worked great.
Yeah,
we
it
had
was
a lot
still
of fun.
a blast. And it was like regular bowling with the computer screen, but then they had a lot of different games. You didn't have to do just like your traditional, bowling game where they score like strikes and spares. So there was a lot going down there. There was a couple that looked like game console stations as well.
Yep.
There was billiards. There was like a card table.
There was
darts,
foosball, darts. Yep.
Yeah, I mean.
And then there was the little snack bar down there too, with popcorn.
I think things like ice cream, pizza or flatbread. Yeah, I mean it was a lot going on.
Yeah, it was a lot of stuff.
And we went over there a few days.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then upstairs on the main floor of the lodge is the bar and grill, like we mentioned before, and basically a regular restaurant with like what I would consider like casual American fare.
Yeah, and being Margaritaville, the margarita menu was about as long as the restaurant menu.
Yeah.
And we had a margarita every day, didn't we?
Yep. And the perfect margarita was really perfect.
So. My favorite was the pink Cadillac margarita, but there were good margaritas. The food was good, but I think your favorite food thing was the breakfast buffet, right?
Breakfast buffet every morning from like 6 to 10 or
Seven.
7 to 10. They had a breakfast buffet, and I'm used to the breakfast buffets at like the Hilton or the Hampton Inn. This no, those buffets don't stand a chance to this one. They had French toast, pancakes with all the stuff you can put on pancakes, toast, muffins, cereal,
Oatmeal.
eggs,
Oh yeah, eggs,
oatmeal, biscuits and gravy, bacon, sausage, coffee, juice. Yeah, every breakfast thing you could think of, and hash browns. And it was $9.95, and you could have as many plates as you wanted. And we went there every morning. Even the morning we left, we went over there and had that buffet because it was so good. And I basically skipped breakfast every day after that because
lunch. You mean?
I mean, yeah, lunch after that because it was great. I mean, it was really good.
Yeah.
And they also had a separate little shop, I guess, where you could get the coffee, and you could get a little extra in your coffee. If you wanted
they
to.
had like Bailey's or something you could add, and they also over there they made like all the like lattes and cappuccino, all those different types of things. They also made smoothies, but it was also the camp store. Oh, so in addition to the drinks, they had like you could order sandwiches if you didn't want to go into the restaurant, or if you want to take something to go, like when you're going out into the local area, they had like grab and go salads and sandwiches, and I think also flatbreads. And then they also had like a regular camp store would have, where they had freezer sections with some ice cream that you could just like the ice cream bars, and they had drinks, like soft drinks and bottled water and tea. They had novelty like t-shirts and all of the souvenirs, as well as a few things you might need, like the sewer hose if your sewer hose broke or something like that. So yeah, I mean, they had it all.
Yeah.
Plus.
And I think every RV resort should consider having that breakfast buffet because that was really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like Sean said, this is definitely a new favorite, and I just kept saying how much I want to come back. And like I said, bring the whole family. Even the rest of them don't have RVs, but you have the lodge. I mean, because there was just something for everyone. And if you don't know, Pigeon Forge, Tennessee, which is where this is located, which is the one entry point to Great Smoky Mountains National Park, and the other entry point is over on North Carolina, Cherokee, North Carolina. But at the Pigeon Forge part, it is like this massive kind of tourist town that has like mini golf and all these, like bumper cars or whatever, all these types of kind of tourist activities to do. We drove through Pigeon Forge to go to the campground, but there was so much going on at Camp Margaritaville that we never went into Pigeon Forge. The only place that we ever went every single day, we left the campground for a little while to go into Great Smoky Mountains National Park. But there was so much at the campground that we didn't even bother with Pigeon Forge. So I know some people will say when they look at the price, and the price really does vary by time of year and site. So look it up if there's a time you're interested in going. Put in the dates you're thinking of and your site type, and you'll see how much it costs. But, some people say, oh, wow, that's a lot more pricey than other RV campgrounds I've stayed at. And I would just say, but there's so much going on. There's so many activities that it really is a resort, and you can spend all your time there out besides the national park. You don't really have to go spend money, because I know all that mini golf and stuff like that is not cheap in Pigeon Forge as well.
And before we talk about Great Smoky Mountains National Park a little bit, a couple other things with the resort is that the town trolley has a stop there.
Oh, yeah.
So if you want to ride the bus into town, you can just hop on it there. It's right by the lodge as the stop. And then the other thing is the check-in section of the RV park is open 24 hours a day. There's somebody there 24 hours a day.
And there's security.
Yeah. So it's a really is a resort, like Julie said, and they've staffed it appropriately to have, continuous service throughout the day.
And what a great location to pick to put it. Now, this one, Pigeon Forge, is not the only Camp Margaritaville. It is the only one we've been to. But I mean, I loved the fact that it was right there at Great Smoky Mountains National Park. I've never been before. I want to go back again because I had so much fun, but I didn't get to do nearly as much as I wanted to. But one thing I will say up front about Great Smoky Mountains National Park that kind of surprised me a little bit, because we live kind of near Shenandoah National Park, is that in Shenandoah National Park, there's only 5 trails out of many that our dog can't go on. It's almost the reverse at Great Smoky Mountains. There's only 2 trails that are dog friendly in the entire national park. So the first day, one's on the North Carolina side and one's on the Tennessee side. So the first day we went to the Sugarlands Visitor Center and we took turns going in and staying with the dog. And then we went on that nature walk. It was about 4 miles round trip.
Yeah.
And it is more of a nature trail than like a strenuous hike. So it was really nice.
Yeah, I think there was only one hill.
Yeah, and it was almost the whole time beside the river.
Yep.
And so there were all these little runs and mini waterfalls, and it was beautiful. It was really beautiful. And there was even a place, you know how every national park has that entry sign? They all pretty much look the same. The only difference is the name of the park. When we were driving in, when we went by one of those signs, we couldn't pull in to get a picture because there were just so many people there. This is one of the most, if not the most visited park in the East. So we were on the hiking trail, and there's a little cutoff trail that goes right to one of those signs. So we managed to get our photo that way and didn't have to worry about maneuvering the truck to it.
Yeah, and it was not a far drive from the campground, that visitor center, maybe.
15 minutes.
Yeah, 15 minutes.
15 minutes. And then from there, we went another, I think, 40 minutes. And the only reason why it was such a long drive, even 40 minutes, although it was a gorgeous drive, so it's not like it was long, but it's one of those scenic roads that goes through the park that's 35 miles an hour, but there were a ton of pullouts. The first pullouts, you could look down into the valley. Then as you started going up in elevation, you were able to not only see into the valley, but look up at mountains. And we took that, so from the visitor center, it was about a 40-minute drive up to what's called Clingman's Dome. Clingman's Dome is the highest point in Great Smoky Mountains National Park. It's over 6,000 feet. I don't know the exact one. They actually have a few peaks that are around 6,000 feet, but this one's over 6,000 feet, and it has an observation tower. So from the campground, you have to go up a very steep paved walkway, not pet friendly. Sean was still feeling a little under the weather, so I went up the thing and he stayed with Toby because that was our first day. We had Toby with us, but it was really cool. It has this ramp that goes around, and then you get 360 views if the weather's clear. On the days we were there, unfortunately, while the weather was clear in the valley, it was always overcast up at Clingman's Dome.
And it was a Thursday, and the parking lot was full.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
yeah,
be prepared
Lots
to wait,
of people.
Traffic.
So then after that, when we saw how crowded it was, every trailhead parking lot that we passed was just completely packed. So the next day, when I was ready to go hiking, I left early. And for the rest of the week, I hit every trailhead by 8:30. Never more than 2 or 3 cars in the lot when I started at 8 or 8:30. Always packed by the time I finished because I always do the longer circuits. So it was always packed by the time I finished. But it was really nice, and it was really cool hiking the Appalachian Trail. It cuts right through Great Smoky Mountains National Park, and it pretty much shares the boundary line of North Carolina and Tennessee. So if you look on an app like I use, All Trails, you can see, oh, I'm in Tennessee. Oh, wait, I'm in North Carolina. Now I'm in Tennessee again, and it just kind of goes back and forth. So that was a lot of fun, too. I went by one of the huts that the thru hikers stay in overnight, and it was a beautiful park. A lot of water.
You saw a bear?
I saw a bear. Yep, I saw a bear, not while I was out hiking, but actually when I was driving. I was just pulling into an overlook to get a photo, and a bear just came bounding across the street, and it was gone before I could pull my camera out, but it was still a nice treat.
Mm-hmm. So this is a great location. Like we said, it's open to fall of 2021, I think, but it is an amazing RV resort, and we're definitely going back.
Yep, and taking the family.
Yeah. So we hope you enjoyed this video overview of Camp Margaritaville in Pigeon Forge, Tennessee. And until we see you on the road, safe
Safe travel.
travels.